Okay, first time I'm showing my voice on in a video. Well, that wasn't Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably have seen my face before. Not really a fan of how I look, even though, eh. Anyway, yeah, I want to do this video for a very long time. I really did, but I didn't know how I was gonna do it. First, I thought maybe do like a video with me on camera talking. But after a while, that just became too much work, and I need to put my energy into other things that I'll explain later. I usually don't talk like this. Usually I'm like this. I'm at this level of talking. Very outgoing and stuff like that. But right now I'm just really tired for a lot of reasons. A lot of good reasons. Not for depression or anything like that. I'm just been busy, and so I lost my voice a couple days ago. Anyway, yeah, planning on leaving this channel. It's not going to be like this forever. I wish it could, but for a lot of reasons, it's just better for me to move on. So, I'm really going to be doing a video explaining everything, explaining why I'm leaving, such like that. Why the name John Not Stamos? During the late 2000s, early 2010s era of YouTube, you saw a lot of people just having weird names like Waxinator or the Killer Crab or something of that nature, Mega 64, Brental Floss, just something very specific, not Cameron Sewell, 1995, nothing like that. But the name was really an inside joke to sort of add on to those weird brand names. John Not Stamos was a joke taken from a SpongeBob SquarePants episode, my awareness of the TV show Full House, and a joke from the later episode of Clone High Season 1. There's an episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob's playing hide and seek with Patrick, and he thinks that he finds Patrick, but it turns out to be a guy named Patrick Not Star. I just thought, being in middle school, just impulsively like that, what would be something like that? And I chose John Not Stamos, just because I thought it'd just be funny. And that's the key. I wanted to make myself laugh, and those were the type of videos I started making. If you scroll down to my older videos, that really was the key of it all. Was I wanted to make myself laugh. I wanted to see the type of stuff that I saw as cool, not really trying to be some sort of crowd pleaser. And if you go back to some of my older stuff, the stuff from almost a decade ago, my gosh, it was all just stuff that really shared my interests. A lot of stuff that really was just me trying to see what I could do with a pirated version of Sony Vegas 13 or 12 or something like that. Maybe 14. And with all that in mind, I just built up from there. And a lot of the videos I made early on were just weird, nonsensical videos, me experimenting and seeing what happens. Had a couple videos deleted just because of copyright strikes. And that was a lot of the earlier stuff. I made fan trailers, but early on I made a lot of video edits, some YouTube poops, or what some people would call stuff like that. Anime music videos. I had one Hi Puffy Amiyumi Lost media post that I made, and that was just from 4chan conversations 8 years ago, almost 9. So a lot of my early videos were just that, me experimenting and me trying to see what I could do with stuff like AVI Synth, stuff like Sony Vegas. It wasn't really me trying to be some sort of big YouTube dude. It was really just me experimenting. And that was a lot of things. My big inspirations with a lot of these earlier stuff was Waxinator, or it was like a lot of the YouTube poop people, people who I haven't really seen in recent years. Shaylee Jenkins, Milkshake Man CP, uh, Triple SSS, Pogo. So not just YouTube poop people, but like Pogo, Homestar Runnertron, Mondo Media, the creators of Happy Tree Friends and Dick Figures, Guy Buchan, Barney is Perverted, Rebel Taxi 99, Mr. Simon. I'm trying to think of other people. Edgeworld, definitely Edgeworld. Colonel Gaddafi, that guy was so crazy. And that was a lot of the inspirations of earlier videos. And I say earlier as in the videos from the 8 years ago. The videos from the 765 years ago, those were videos I made in high school, and those were closer related to people like Alex Luthor or Stephen F. Thomas, aka SFX Dementia, and a lot of people of that nature. Suckafish 80, Walker 0. Those were the videos where in high school I was really trying to explore a lot of my artistic side. I was looking into people like I was looking more into Soul Brother Number 3 or SBN 3. I was looking into D Boyne and God's Connect. I was looking into Tommy Toonami, whose YouTube channel is deleted now, but like people like that, people who were really El Famoso Demon, people who were really exploring the visual music video craze for aesthetic reasons. That was what a lot of my videos were. When I started getting into fan trailers, the first fan trailer I actually made was the Heroes for Hire video. Even though that video came later, that was my first fan trailer, and it didn't really blow up. I made the Johnny Bravo video next, which was supposed to be much bigger, but I just didn't really have the skill set yet, so I just had to do it simply. But the video that really blew up, the stuff that really rose my popularity, was the Ed and Eddie video, the one starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Double D, Liam Neeson as Eddie, and Kevin Durant from the that one vampire TV show as Ed, and also Vin Diesel as Johnny. It was that was a really fun video that really was just me trying to make myself laugh, and I shared it to many of my friends from high school at the time, and that just blew up over time in a way that I never really expected. And that was where I started thinking to myself, well, I guess I want to do more stuff like that, because that was the first time that I actually got a lot of comments. So I made a couple fan trailers. They all varied in popularity, but after years of just going back and forth with experimental stuff that really got way under 100 views, and videos for a live stream series on Twitch called Mega 64 TV, which was a series of live stream videos that was 24 hours, and they would just have fans post TV bumpers on YouTube. And that was a great exercise in experimentation. It was really later on that I just decided that I wanted to do more fan trailers and music videos full time, more consistently. But that really added on to the problem. It was more so after the Ninja Turtles video that I made, which was pretty much what if there was a prestigious TV drama starring the Ninja Turtles, where I took a lot of footage from fan made TMNT movie trailers and fan made fan films and stuff from True Blood with Journey Smollett as April O'Neil. That was the type of things that really made me excited, and so I started making a lot more fan trailer stuff afterwards during my final year of high school. And that just started the consistency. So within that 5 year period, that period between um, late 2017, late 2017 to 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 mid 2019, honestly, that was an era of consistent posting, and I think that was where things peaked. The peak of this consistent posting really started with the Sonic fan trailer that I did back when the Sonic movie trailer came out, and it was a tragedy or a travesty or whatever you want to call it. And so around just right before they had shown the trailer, I was already making a fan movie trailer, but because of money issues, because I really wanted to have CGI and stuff like that, I just posted it unfinished with storyboard animatics showing off my animation skill sets. And that was when the viewership, the subscription stuff really blew up, but that really added on to the problem. When I started college, my personal life got into the way of things. Friendships blossomed. My college job at the time really took up a lot of my schedule. Studying for tests, everything just really got into the way of things, and that was becoming more of a problem with my hobby work. And I feel like with my hobby work, there wasn't really time for me to flesh out things like I did in high school. Because in high school, I would just go to school, do wrestling team, and then go home. So I had enough free time because homework was pretty much nothing. And I did good in school. I wasn't a procrastinator. It's just homework was pretty nothing. But college homework became a lot of hours of just sitting down. And so the Sonic video was my peak, but it also added bigger issues. The Sonic video gave me way more subscribers, but it also gave me a problem, dead subscriber syndrome. And Emperor Lemon has a great video that I'll link in the description here. And it's pretty much talking about how it pretty much is talking about how a lot of people who have a subscriber count at 1,000 or more have a big percentage of that being people who just press subscribe and then don't do anything afterwards. And that becomes very discouraging because you're pretty much having a big percentage of people not click on your videos, and that was really adding on to my impatience because I'd be working very hard on these fan trailers and nothing was really happening, and I was getting less than 1,000 views, which, looking at face value from the Ninja Turtles video, from the Back to the Future video, from the Ed and Nettie video, that was really discouraging. It just was, and that really added on to more impatience and frustration in college. My personal life, there were some ups and downs, and it started to really hit its maximum during COVID lockdown. And at that period, relationships became more of an issue. The struggle to do new things with my hobby was really clashing with that. Family life, money, stuff like that was really becoming bumpy. And sure, currently some of those aspects have improved. I'm not going to go into details because that's none of your business. But anybody who knows me personally knows a lot of this stuff. So I really do think that that really added on to my fatigue as an artist, as a aspiring animator, as a fan trailer guy, the struggle to do new things, I was really hitting a wall. And my dreams for the John Not Stamos YouTube channel became bigger than the reality. Those dreams would have involved too much money, too much money. Those dreams would have involved too much material, too much stakes. And with all that, I just decided I wanted to do a grand finale, and that really added on to the Spider-Man video. I currently I've given up on the Spider-Man video. It's over. I'm sorry for everybody who really was expecting part 2, but it was becoming too much work. I'll explain later. But the Spider-Man video was pretty much a way for me to vent some of my frustration as a creator and put all that frustration from family life, money, and just my work into a video about Spider-Man. To summarize the entire story, what it would have been was Spider-Man joining the MCU, feeling like an imposter, suffering from imposter syndrome, but only after going through multiple emotional struggles, getting injured in Avengers: Age of Ultron, being being out of commission in Captain America: Civil War, developing relationships with Miles Morales, becoming one of the survivors after the snap in Avengers Infinity War, losing Mary Jane in the process, and really going through a period of despair during Avengers Endgame, and thanks to time traveling, developing emotional closure, as he would be the one to go through the one-on-one conversation with Uncle Ben, and then finally being the one to snap the Infinity Gauntlet, saving everyone and dying in the process. That was the idea. But it just became too much. I was one of the first people who I knew to really start experimenting with AI to tell stories. But at that time, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, the tools were not as advanced as they are currently in 2023. And because the tools weren't as advanced, I had to spend months problem solving things that now would take 2 days, or depending on what computer you have, 2 hours. And with all that hard work, the mistake of treating this hobbyist endeavor, this hobby, and treating it like a profession, putting in multiple days and nights into the material, that was a mistake. That was a bad choice. And I feel horrible. Just looking back at it, that was a regret. That was not smart. And it really added on to the sunk cost fallacy. I spent a lot of months working on that project. I spent a lot of money buying movies on Blu-ray to transfer onto a Blu-ray converter. I spent a lot of money on things. I paid people on Fiverr. I paid some fan trailer people too. And with all that stuff, that really added on to the sunk cost fallacy. Google that. I don't have time to explain it because we're like way far into this video. But I wasted so much money. And the videos I made in between the Spider-Man videos, Tobey Maguire in the MCU Part 1, those got only a couple hundred views. One currently stays at 1,000, but that was real. Correction. One stayed at 16,000 currently. Another one stayed at almost 20,000 currently, but that was just because the subject matter was more viral. But then some of the other videos that I made from my heart barely made it to 900 views, and one made it to over 200 views, but that was across a 2-year period. That wasn't the initial. So really, the views just became so tiresome. Like, why waste all my time? Why waste hours of my life? Why waste money, actual physical currency, on things that really don't matter? And that was the thing. I went through late 2020, early 2021, going through this period of just having to talk to some people in my real life and just share my thoughts about this all. I put a lot of my heart into a bunch of videos, and the viewership dropped because it wasn't like how it was in 2017 and 2018, and that was just becoming more discouraging. So I had to just start moving on. And so that started the 3-year period of moving on. With this period, things started to fall apart in the internet world, or the internet circles that I stood around. The fan trailer community fell apart during the Yay Awards, the YEA Awards in the 2021. Some guy who won first place, I don't know who, because I never met the guy through Discord or any YouTube or Twitter conversations. Some guy screwed up in some big way, was a harasser or whatever, and that just caused things to become a headache across some of the discords that I lurked around under a different name, because I didn't want to have myself associated anymore with my YouTube, so I would join some of these servers under a different name. And that just became very much of a headache. Like, to see that some of these great artists, some of them were immature, some of them acted like straight up middle schoolers. Maybe they were middle schoolers. It was just really tiresome. And then comic book movies hit a slump after Avengers Endgame. I mean, we all know, some people argue that it's superhero fatigue. I believe in that a little bit. But even though I love superhero stuff, I've become way more jaded with much of the recent stuff from the past 3 to 4 years. I haven't even seen every single Marvel Cinematic Universe movie after Avengers Endgame just because of that. I'm tired. I've been watching a lot more animated films and a lot more serious non-superhero films, and it's made me appreciate art and filmmaking a lot more, to the point where I agree with Martin Scorsese when he's talking about how superhero films are like roller coaster rides. And I actually watched the video where he says it. It wasn't just a one-off thing. He didn't say that they're derogatory. He didn't say that they're horrible things. He just was explaining that these are crowd pleaser movies that attract a big audience, but also Hollywood gives more money to those films compared to films where people are putting their hearts in it. And that started to really make me explore if I wanted to be just known as the superhero guy. I like superhero stuff. I still do. I'm even going to explain some stuff later involving my love of superhero stuff. But with the slump period, the fact that we had 3 movies earlier this year that didn't do well critically and or monetarily really added on to that. And also, fan trailer people slowed down. The people like Dr. Flashpoint, Mine Kidzag, correction, sorry bro, Jordan Bean, or Belly Bean, people like them, and some others who I'm missing. Sorry, I don't have time to really relay every single fan trailer person who inspired me. They just started slowing down and posting, so it didn't feel like iron sharpening iron anymore. It just felt like, they would post whenever they're able to, because I'm sure that these guys, these men, women, whatever, have personal lives, they have personal aspirations, and they have things to handle. And so, since there was no back and forth in the last couple of years, I just started getting tired. And I'm sure that some of you guys, you're like, why not make more? I mean, you made that Spider-Man fan TV show intro a couple months ago. Why not? Okay, so here's the thing. As I've gotten older, I say older like, well, yeah, it's been a decade pretty much since I started this YouTube channel. As I've gotten older, my desire to bring my personal life into my art has grown. I really, really want to bring more of who I am as an individual in my personal life, way more into my stuff. But there was a struggle with that. You see, like, if you noticed with my Spider-Man video, I had a Bible verse at the beginning of it. And anybody who's talked to me in Discord conversations or Twitter DMs knows this about me. I'm a Christian. I'm not ashamed of that. But when I started John Out Stamos, it was just to make me laugh. It was me just to show off cool ideas. And some of those videos I made, they were more edgy. Doesn't mean that I'm now so holier than thou, that those videos are so terrible. No, it just means I'm not going to make those jokes like I used to. Doesn't mean that the Teen Titans video I made doesn't still make me laugh. It does. I'm just choosing not to make those jokes anymore. Doesn't mean that the now deleted Hitler 420 video is bad. I mean, sure, yeah, I'm making fun of a guy who killed a lot of people. I'm making fun of him. It just means that I'm not gonna make stuff like that anymore. This video isn't an apology video. I'm not convicted by those videos. I still feel okay about them. It's just, I want the future of my artwork, my filmmaking, my animation, my editing to be way more constructive than vulgar. That's it. Doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I'm some sort of clean guy. It just means that I want to make videos, content, whatever you want to call it, that's way more positive and not very edgy. That's all. And so I want to really add on to bringing in more of who I am as an individual. I've always been a Christian. I never really went through a period that a lot of born-again Christians go through where they ran away. Even when I was making those edgy videos, I was still praying to God and reading my Bible. I just have a sense of humor that's edgy, but I don't spread it out every single moment. So the only regret is I posted something too edgy to a guy through a Twitter DM, and yeah, I regret that. I really do. That I shouldn't have done it. I'm sure that he was cool with it, but in long term, probably further on, I have a new project I'm working on. I've been working on this for over a year, and I'm really excited to share about it. To tell you the super summary, the elevator pitch, if you will, it's called Future Faith. Again, I'm a Christian. I'm unashamed about that. I'm not some sort of Turner Burn super uber conservative, but I'm also not a moral relativist liberal who just follows every single idea that's spread out across the entire world. I'm more of just a guy who tries to be very appreciative of things, but also I'll have concern about things, and so I really felt like this was one of those concerns. I felt like a lot of internet animation, not all, but a lot of internet animation was going down the path of cynicism, and that really made me feel very on fire to really put something positive. An example of this in animation would be how after Ren and Stimpy, you had a lot of Ren and Stimpy impersonators. Noodles and Ned, I believe, was one of them. But then SpongeBob SquarePants came in, being a very vibrant and very jovial show. And so they need to have a lot of SpongeBob imitators. And I think that that's what this is. This is just a SpongeBob effect. But the project that I'm working on is called Future Faith. Future Faith is a story about angels and demons in the future. An angel type character named Grace is trying to help a young middle school age black kid named Malachi go through despair. And there's the character called the adversary, obviously the devil, obviously. And the adversary is trying to pull Malachi into that despair and depression. And it's up to Grace to save him. I've been working on this project for over a year now. I've been blessed, and I believe that it really is a God thing, where I prayed about this project, and a guy at my church gave me $1,000. You don't just get $1,000 by coincidence. And pretty much I spent $900 of it all on the project. And I'm excited to see where this project takes me. I don't want to expect maybe this will become the next Edgeworld or the next Hell of a Boss or the next Has Been Hotel or anything like that. I shouldn't. Correction. If you're a creator, you should not be expecting yourself to get the 1 million subscriber project off the ground in a couple months. You do things humbly and do things with low expectations. And if something high happens, awesome. If it doesn't, you don't beat yourself up, because I've just explained everything in the past 20 or 30 minutes or so, but that was where I was at. And I'm not going to make that mistake again, and you shouldn't make the mistake. Be humble with your work. I would love for Future Faith to be a big hit, but I'm not expecting it to be a big hit. With that side tangent out of the way, I just feel like if I want to do something like this, I gotta move on with a new channel. This channel has too much baggage for me, and this channel has too much baggage based on expectations. A lot of people expect me to make fan trailers. A lot of people expect me to make Sonic videos or Spider-Man videos or Marvel videos or DC videos or whatever like that, and I don't want that anymore. I want to do my own things. If I do a fan edit, if I do a fan trailer, I want to do that. If I do a little YouTube poop thing, I want to do that. If I do an animated project that comes from a sincere place in my heart, I want to do that. And I think John Not Stamos is baggage. I think John Not Stamos is something where it really held me back as an artist. And the fact that we got dead subscribers, people who are in the subscription but don't really do anything about it. I cannot be making something creative and have all that in my head. So I started a new YouTube channel. And the first video on that YouTube channel was a project that I made behind the scenes. I referenced it once in a Twitter post, but it was something that, like I said a couple minutes ago, was me implementing my personal life and my beliefs into my art. I did a video message, a church message if you call it, a video essay, editorial, whatever you want to call it. I did a video message for my church's youth group. And it was on superheroes and how that relates to Christianity. It's not about how Daredevil's a Christian or anything like that, but it's how we are all heroes, especially those who believe in God. However, not every hero is going to have a happy ending. And not every hero is going to go through things easily. And I wanted to really share that because I felt like every time I heard a Christian perspective on superhero media, it was always stuff like, God is the ultimate superhero. It's like, okay, yeah, Jesus narrative, sure. But now what? And so I wanted to share something like that. And I know that me just saying that, some of you guys listening to this video in the background are now projecting some of your pain, some of the stuff that maybe your mom, your dad, your church that you used to go to, your friends, your family, a pastor. You're projecting all those insecurities onto me. And all I can say is, I'm sorry that any of that stuff happened to you. However, I can't do anything about it. I'm just sharing my beliefs. And if you don't like it, then maybe this is a good sign that we're not going to move on as a creator to an audience member. So yeah, didn't want to get too deep on that. I'm still kind of tired, but before I finish this video, I want to applaud who I call the real ones. The real ones are those who have always commented on the videos, who have always liked the videos, who have always reposted the videos, who have always shared their thoughts on the video, who have always just been present in any of my creative posts, whether here on YouTube or on Twitter. And I feel like those people are the ones who I really appreciate. So some of the people I want to list off: Comics Provider, FTW_02, Zed Kate, Mind Kidzag, Arachnid Knight, Julian Bell. I'm sorry for calling you Jordan Bell. This is all improvised and unscripted. Nostalgic Flamingos Production, Nick Tendo, Cash Cash, Vladimir Avashkin, and the recent guy, Dan. His fan trailers are kind of awkward in some areas, but he has so much potential, so keep an eye on him. Link in the description. I want to list off these people because they were the ones who really were consistent. It doesn't mean, if I didn't list you off, it does not mean that you are bad, that you weren't a real one. I just forgot who you were, and I'm sorry if I did forget you. But at the same time, I just gotta say, I gotta move on. This creative journey has been really, really long. 9 to 10 years of my life. I'm in my 20s now. I was in middle school when I started this all. And I just want to say thank you, for real. I really do thank you for all this. I want you guys to check out my new YouTube channel, which is called Hey It's Jola. It's Hey It's Jola with an exclamation mark. I only have one video. It's the Christian superhero video. I would love for you guys to watch it. It's way more humble. You'll see my face a bunch. It's not mixed well in the audio, which is a mistake on my end. So I recommend you watch it with speakers on, not headphones, because it's a little bit awkward. But it was something that I did with my heart. It wasn't something that I did for viewership. So I would really love for you to watch it. Keep an eye out on my new Twitter, Hey It's Jola. The old Twitter that I've had, Jonat Stamos, is going to go private because I don't need that past baggage. And check out Future Faith whenever that actually happens. I don't know when I'm actually going to start that. Releasing that, I mean, yeah. That's all I got to say. I appreciate you guys. And I want to end this on a modified version of my poem on the About Me page of my YouTube channel, because I've grown as an individual. And some of what I said in that is no longer what I believe. Use your heart at the start, but through concern you'll learn that the pain is from your brain. That's why you gotta discern. Be courteous, kind, and give unto others. And later you'll be respected like a good brother or mother. Don't be doubtful. Don't tell yourself no with a mouthful. Don't even dare to put those bad thoughts into your skin. You should not believe that the chances are slim. And the Bible says, do not argue with a fool, or you will be just like him.